giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Yes, indeed. It is week 2 of OTAs. And I got 4 burning questions I would love to see answered coming out of today's second media practice. What I mean by media practice is they likely practiced yesterday. However, it was not open to the media. Today it will be. And then tomorrow we'll be able to discuss all of the news and notes coming out of said OTA practice, ladies and gentlemen. You want to call into the show, you can. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. Pretty straightforward show today. Honestly, likely going to be one of our quick hitters of this. It's not necessarily the dead period, but it's the slow period. So we'll have a bit of a quick hitter. If you want to call in, you can. We can discuss whatever it is you want to discuss. But good morning, Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
Appreciate y'all for joining me each and every morning, even during times like this. This is why I always tell y'all, the off season is for the diabolical, die-hard fans, right? The team that we, toxic relationship, but we love this team, and we're going to be here to talk about freaking OTAs, man. It gets me excited because I cover the squad, but I can see how, like, the casual fans, I don't give a damn about OTAs, but here we do. We do. So we're going to talk about it. Shouts out to y'all this morning. And look, we're going to jump right into it. I got 4 burning questions. And I got to laugh because I'm curious how you guys are going to take this first topic. And one of the main questions or main topics, whatever you want to call it, revolve Micah Parsons, Mike Zimmer. Right. It's the return of Micah Parsons. The question should be, what does Micah's usage look like? The problem is everybody want to talk about everything but Micah Parsons on the field. So Micah was out last week, and Michael Gehlken was able to sit down with him and his trainer, Mr. Mack. He's out there doing some boxing things and some other things among others. And Gehlken had a fantastic article. I would suggest you guys go check it out. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll take a couple excerpts. So Michael's out last week, and it was a big hoopla about it. And now there's a big hoopla about what he's wearing at the Mavs. I mean, this dude he can't walk in one direction without this city and fan base saying something crazy. But Michael Gehlken said he hasn't been a stranger. And that's something that also Mike McCarthy said. But here's what Gehlken mentioned in his article. Quote, he's not been a stranger. Parsons and Cowboys coaches have kept in contact as he's visited the facility as recently as last Friday. He's worked with the strength and conditioning coach, the staff, including coordinator Harold Nash Jr. His ability to prepare himself physically is not questioned within the team. And like I said, McCarthy also pointed out that he is lockstep with Mike Zimmer on the defense as well. Now, I want to go back to the article real quick, though, because, again, great article. Suggest you guys go read it. this part of the article stood out to me. And I'm going to tie it into a future Hall of Famer real quick. Micah said this: Mike and I talked multiple times this offseason about how can we create more self-discipline? How can we eliminate the penalties? How can we create a better environment to be better? I realized I need to increase my spirit, so when others are down, my spirit rises. That last part stuck out to me. Not only did it stick out to me, it reminded me of Aaron Donald. Y'all remember Aaron Donald, right? One of the all-time greatest players to play this game. If there was something that was considered beyond first ballot, that's Aaron Donald. Like, Aaron Donald retired a few months ago. Put him in the Hall of Fame right now. What are we waiting for, right? So Aaron Donald, if you guys remember, he had long been a guy who led by his play on the field because he was an amazing player. But it wasn't until Von Miller got there. And Von told him, hey, you can't just lead with your play. Not you, maybe some other people, but you've got to be vocal too. You've got to especially be vocal when things get a bit dicey. And this was Aaron Donald's, one of his quotes. I mean, he talked about this many different times, but he said, leading by example is good, but to get over the hurdle, you need to be vocal. Once I became a lot more vocal, bringing my guys up and getting on the same page, it was like it was crazy to think what we could accomplish. And he credited this. There was a quote prior to this where he said, man, this was all Von. You know, Von Miller got here and he told me I had to do these things. He said, having Von and having him speak to me and talk to me, I feel like some of the best things I'm learning from Von is being more of a vocal leader. And that goes back again to Micah's quote at the end there, where he says, I realize I need to increase my spirit, so when others are down, my spirit rises. You guys remember, get out of here. You guys remember yesterday, I talked about the Green Bay game. I brought up how the energy just seemed gone. When they got down, both literally in the scoreboard and just down within themselves, there was nobody really to bring them up. Not a coach, not a player, nobody really was kind of bringing them up in this moment. And when he talks about, hey, I have to make sure my spirit's right, so when others are down, it can rise and rise them up. That's real. And that's basically what Donald was talking about. And if you remember that Super Bowl run, there was a moment when that came about. I think it was against the Niners. They weren't playing their great ball. They were making mistakes and all these things were happening. And Donald had to kind of come out of his shell of what he had been for 8 years prior to that. And it was like, hey, let's go. You know, let's get this thing together. I don't know what he said specifically, but you saw that practice of trying to be a vocal leader come to the forefront when it mattered the most. So, you know, with Micah, quote, dedicating his time, he said spiritually, mentally, physically, and mentally to be a better person and player, to be better for his team. I don't know how we can look at that and say, oh, man, this kid's selfish. I don't know. It took Aaron Donald 8 years and a Super Bowl veteran Von Miller to find his voice. 25-year-old Micah Parsons is trying to do that right now without a Von Miller in the room. Who's the Von Miller? D-Law? Is D-Law the Von Miller? The guy who helped create a cult in the locker room? I like it, D-Law. Don't get me wrong, but if we're talking about leadership in that defensive line room, I'm not, you know, maybe D-Law as older now and is 30 plus, yeah, things are different. But D-Law teaching, you know, hot boys, chains, you can't join here because that's not the guy. There is no Von Miller there. So he's having to try to learn a lot of this by himself. And he's talked about reading and digesting all of these things to try to get better. We will see if that translates on the field, because I don't believe that just comes naturally to him. I feel like he's trying to learn that way. And if an all-time great and Aaron Donald took 8 years, to get out of that type of shell. I hope it don't take that long for our guy. But as long as he's actively working towards that, I can't be mad at that, man. Now, y'all could be mad at him for wearing jerseys and going to basketball, all this nonsense in the offseason everybody's getting in the hoopla about. But the actual player in person, I don't know what happened. I don't know what it is about this team in this city. But it you know what it is, contract coming up and things like that. But it's easy. All it takes is something very small. And there's a switch that flips. No matter how good the person is, it flips. And it is starting to flip with the Cowboys all-pro, all-world defensive player. But back to the field. What does Micah Parsons' usage look like? That's the big question to me. Zimmer gave us a bit of a glimpse on that when he spoke, was it a week or two ago? Actually, no. He actually gave us a glimpse on what the plan would look like. Here's what Mike Zimmer had to say about it.
Well, they don't have to take many steps. I think, as we're just sitting up there again this morning talking about other things we can do with him. And, he's such a dynamic player that I said this the other day that, the offenses are always going to know where he's at. And so, they're going to turn protections to him. They're going to, have the back help chip no matter what it is. In a lot of the games he played last year that I watched, the offense had a good scheme where they get two tight ends on him and all those things. So we're gonna obviously gonna move him around, doing different things with him, but we're gonna use him some ways where we're getting the protection turned the way we want it turned, and then able to win on the other side. And there's sometimes we're gonna try to overload a protection where he gets a one-on-one.
That was music to my ears, listening to Coach Zimmer explain the plan. But he never really answered the question of the usage. And that's why, and I get it, man, it's the first practice, second practice for them, likely. I think the first practice got postponed or something. The weather was crazy the other day. But this is the second practice open to the media, the first for Micah Parsons being there. But still, I would love to know, where is he lining up, Is he lining up all across the defensive line like it sounds like Zimmer wants to do? Left end, right end, inside, over the center. Is he doing some moonlighting at linebacker? I get it's really early. I don't want to take too much into it, but I do as something I'm going to ask. Probably the first question I'm going to ask. Hey, Pat, where was Micah Parsons? Left, right, middle. What was he doing? If I had to guess, though, just the way they talk about the linebacker room, the way Demo's talking about the linebacker room with Eric Kendricks here, Maris Leofow, they love him. Clark is still here. It doesn't sound like he's going to be doing a whole lot of linebacking. Maybe you get a series, maybe you get some plays, maybe you get a fake blitz drop back type situation. But I think I said something around 70-30. It might be more. It might be 80-20. 85-15. And as long as it's not, let's say it's 80-20, right, Cowboys Nation? 80 meaning 80% on the line, 20% playing some in the box linebacker type things. As long as it's not 75% of that 80, he's on one side doing one thing. I don't have a problem with that. Because they did at least go out and get a veteran at the linebacker position that I think Eric Kendricks is going to be really good for this team. It's not a long-term solution, but Demo getting back, Maris Leofow has been drafted. I feel like if Zimmer is going to be here long-term, the linebacker spot will be addressed. They will not ignore that like Dan Quinn. I don't know if it's Dan Quinn. They will not ignore it like the front office did with Dan Quinn here. Mike Zimmer's not going to let it happen. There's another position I wish he wouldn't let happen, and we'll get to that in a second. But that is one of the main things I'm going to be looking for here is what does Micah Parsons' usage look like? I know that's a big topic amongst y'all, Cowboys Nation. I mean, not just y'all. I mean, everybody. Everybody. Because I personally love the way it looked as in his rookie season. Then they kind of just stumbled across him being one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. And, they stuck with it. The problem was they never replenished the linebacker room. And then they kind of got lazy in their usage with him. So in all honesty, if we're, being real here, the creativity in how they use Micah went down year after year. Micah, the player, got stronger, right? Quicker, smarter, figuring out how to, just a young player getting better in the league. But doesn't stop there. The buck does not stop with the specific player. I personally think, Dan, if you want to use the word lazy, if you want to say, hey, man, we got an all-world guy, just go out there, do your thing. I mean, sure. But what about everything else? What about the how? If we talk about the how on offense, I got to talk about the how on defense. And then are you taking advantage of him when he gets the attention? Zimmer is very aware of the attention he's going to get. He said, I watched all these games and Zimmer didn't hold back. Coach Z said, hey, man, no offense to the previous regime. Zim said, man, I watched how y'all use this dude and everybody else was just out here it's okay that you're not beating this one-on-one. It's okay you're not taking advantage of this. It's not okay. Not in my book. So Zim is going to try to do everything in his power to say, okay, you want to send a running back and a tight end and a guy to take out his legs? Cool. Here comes two guys on the other side. One's going to get free. It's good, Jose. So that's question number one. The rest of these are probably going to be quicker. So I'll be trying to get in and out of the chat here. I looked over and still the boys said Micah not being used as a chess piece is an issue for me. Agree. No matter who the DC is. Well, it's only one DC. One. Now Zim, which Zim sounds like he's going to use him as said chess piece. When he sat down with the Doomsday podcast, when he talked to, it sounds like he's going to be moved around. So let's hope that's the case. Question number 2. Who's connecting with Dak Prescott in CD Lamb's absence? Who? Last week, we heard Tolbert being more confident and vocal with Dak saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I like. And I love that. So Tolbert is obviously taking that step, that third year leap right now. Obviously, the production has to be there on the field. We also heard Brandon Cooks is picking up the slack in CD Lamb's absence. I mentioned Jake Ferguson as the true number 2 option on this offense, not just from a passing game, on the entire offense. It's a good time to establish that right now. And one thing we know about connecting with QB1, if you gain that trust, if you gain that connection, he will count on you, good or bad. And the reason why I bring up good or bad is because he almost had no choice but to develop a connection with the Noah Brown. And, there was sometimes it was good. There was a lot of times it was bad. And I'm talking about down roster guys, right? At the time he wasn't. But another good example of a down roster-ish guy, role player guy, Sed Wilson. Sed developed, it took some years, but Sed developed some connection and chemistry with Dak. And what happened when he had to step in? Seamless. No problems. You know what I mean? Who's that next guy to develop that chemistry, that connection in CeeDee Lamb's absence? Can somebody take advantage of that? Tolbert, Brooks? Is it going to be a rookie? I know Ferg and Dak already connected last year, but I'm looking for that to go a step further. I'm looking for this thing to be, hey, coach, we need to get him to rock a lot. So right now would be a great time to develop that trust. Who do you think, or man, say, who do you want to be that guy to take that next step in developing a connection in Lamb's absence? Because he will be back. When Lamb returns, you'll still need that fourth option in case something comes up, in case somebody's off that day, in case there's an injury or what have you. You need that Sed Wilson. For me, it'd be Tolbert. He's the guy I think will get the most opportunity to develop a legitimate wide receiver quarterback connection. And the reason why I have to say it that way is because, I still want to get Turpin out there and get involved. I just have this feeling Turpin will still be used more gadgety, which I'm not against, not against him getting quick hitters, some screens, quick passes, get the ball to him right now, let him use his punt return ability, handoffs out the backfield, jet sweeps, and then occasionally send him downfield. I am not against that. I would like to see his route tree expand a little bit more, but what if it's just not working out that way? I don't know. But the reason why I bring up Tolbert is because I think he's going to be the more traditionally versatile wide receiver. And that's something that Mike McCarthy really likes and wants out of his receivers. Can you play the X? Can you go play Y? Can you play in the slot? Can I move you around? Can I get you to block? You're not really going to see that with Terp too much. He's going to be different in his versatility. His versatility is going to shine in post snap. Whereas McCarthy wants these wide receivers to be versatile pre-snap, where you can line up. And that's why I think Tolbert, if he's going to be the guy, the wide receiver 3, then I need him to develop that next connection. I want Turpin. I want Turpin to be more involved. That's for damn sure. Why don't we sign Said? Oh, why didn't we sign Said? Yeah, Said was here with Mike. I don't know, man. I would have did that contract. 2 years, 5.75. Whew. That's a great contract. Confident Cowboy said Terp as well. Sully said Terp for me. Want Tolbert says Toxic, but he thinks it's Cooks. Cooks, man, I think Cooks being the veteran, I think it will come natural for him. It sounds like they're already kind of doing that. And so many snaps last year, they kind of got it going in the second half of the season. I feel like if something were to happen to Lamb, yeah, Cooks would step up. I'm more worried about something happening to Cooks, who steps up, right? Greg said Ferg. Honestly, you know what? I might change my mind. So I'm saying Turpin as a receiver, but for real, I want it to be Ferg. Because I want this. I know it's probably not possible, given it's so early. I want that Romo Witten connection with Ferg and Dak. You know what I mean? Like Schultz didn't have that connect. They connected, right? 8 touchdowns 1 year, 700 yards. Hey, good season. But it didn't feel like the Tony and Witt, where they just knew what they was thinking. I would love for that, because now if they have that type of connection, that's that Pat, Kelsey, Tony, Witt, that's that type of connection where I know what you're thinking by a look. All right, third question, and this is a position that I was hoping that they would literally let Coach Zim just pick whoever he wanted. Price be damned, draft pick be damned. This position was so important to me, and I just feel like they kind of ignored it. But who's running with the ones at defensive tackle? As you see there, Osa and Mazi were out last week. We have not gotten an update yet on Osa. There's probably a press conference happening, if not now, pretty soon. And maybe we'll get an update on Osa. We know Mazi will not be available, that's for sure. Osa's dealing with a hip situation, and they're probably not going to rush him back. And that leaves the Cowboys. I mean, we talked about the running back position being thin, and I don't even think it's this damn thin. Cowboys have to have maybe one of the worst defensive tackle rooms in the National Football League. And that's without me even looking. Especially one of the thinnest. No Mazi, no Osa. I'm sorry. Yeah, no Mazi, no Osa. That leaves Dallas with Justin Rogers, rookie 7th round pick. Denzel Jackson, rookie undrafted free agent. Carl Davis, journeyman veteran who wasn't that great in the league anyway, as the only real defensive tackles on this team. My hope, I want all these guys to obviously improve, but my hope is that the front office is watching this with these guys out and they're like, we can't do this. We can't roll out Justin Rogers and Carl Davis and expect these guys to carry us on the interior if something were to happen to these other two. Which is it out of the question that something may happen, right? Mazi's not the same. I mean, he's dealing with, shoulder. He's got to put weight back on. We don't know what's going on there. We hope it gets better. It probably will be better just because Zim. Osa hip. Come on, man. He's already undersized for the position. He's already undersized for this specific scheme. I don't like hearing hip injuries. Don't like it. But then you got Aisha. Hold up. 2i, who dropped this nugget on Chauncey Golston, stating that he was working a lot with the defensive tackles. And that got me to thinking, is this due to the fact that the Cowboys don't have a lot of bodies in that room? Or is Chauncey Golston looked at as a defensive tackle? Because that is probably the most underrated shocker for me coming out of last week's OTAs, which hasn't been really brought up a lot. But maybe it's just because they didn't have bodies. But Chauncey Golston looks like the prototypical defensive end in a Mike Zimmer scheme. I love the fit out there. Inside? Nah, man. Now he's moonlighting inside. He, NASCAR packages / endgame packages. Shout out to Voch. Sure. But being the guy, if Osa's out in the board, a 260 some pound, 69 pound. No. I would like to see him on the outside. His body type, his perceived skill set was better for stopping the run on the edge. His body type on the interior, down in, down out, he'd get worn. Now, from a pass rush standpoint, he showed you last year. If you go look at all the pass rush metrics, when Chauncey lined up at defensive tackle, he was one of your better pass rushers. So pass downs, sure. Early downs, no. Not for me. So who the hell is running with our ones? Is it Carl Davis and the rookies? I mean, it has to be, right? Is it Chauncey and the rookies? Either way, if I'm Will McClay, if I'm Stephen Jones, I look out there and I see that. I'm like, nah, we can't do this to Zim. Can't do this to Zim. If for anything else, I don't care if the dude is 39 years old. For anything else, bring that guy in here so he can help teach these dudes. Who's teaching who in there? Carl Davis teaching these dudes though, really? Obviously Mazi, Daxon, and Rogers, they not teaching nobody nothing. They trying to figure it out. Osa, if we're keeping it a bean, hey, look, Osa is in a contract year. And shouts out to Coach AD, who said, he's taking on that, more of a leadership role because there's not many guys in that room. Osa can't tell a nose tackle how to nose tackle yet. Can't do that. Can't do it, man. So get one or two of these veteran guys. We've talked about the two big names, in Linval Joseph and Calais Campbell. If for anything, you could bring Linval in for camp. I don't give a damn. But you can't run that out there, in my opinion. Can't do it, won't do it. Oscar Sullivan does not have what's the King breaking news. He has real breaking news. Breaking news. Jalen Waddle and the Miami Dolphins agreed to a 3-year, $85 million contract. Is that 3-year, $85 million total? I'd be shocked. Or is that $85 million guaranteed? $76 million guaranteed. Damn. That's a lot of money. I don't know that this is going to really affect the big three. The big three mean Justin Jefferson, Chase, and Lamb, but just another dude. Another wide receiver getting paid before, in my opinion, one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league. What I wonder what's happening here. Is there again sidebar real quick? My bad. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. That should be a no-brainer. Don't know how true this is. Heard there was rumors the Vikings were trying to trade up to get Malik Neighbors. Was that because they don't want to pay Justin Jefferson? What is happening? I know it takes two to tango and all that stuff, but figure this out. It's Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase. What are we doing? Anyway, final question, Cowboys Nation. I'm going to stick with the trenches. Have either Guyton or BB gotten first team work yet? Or are Guyton and BB still second string? This one may not be as burning, and this could be just me selfishly wanting to see these rookies get every single, first team rep opportunity to develop chemistry with the cadence and Dak Prescott and be lock in step with, Tyler Smith and Zach Martin and the running backs. And I look, man, I ain't playing around. And it's a little contradicting. I get it, right? You football's a meritocracy. It got to be competitive. Everybody got to compete. Fair. Fam, we talking about Chumi Dogan. We talking about Brock Hogan. We ain't talking about Connor McGovern and Tyron Smith. I know y'all can hate me for this, but okay, first week, fine. Congratulations, you sent the message to the rookies. You got to earn it. I don't got time to play around, no, man. When we gonna get these boys in here? I don't want to get to July 29th, August 15th, and Chumi Dogan and Brock Hoffman still out there. I see this before. I don't see it again. All right, a bit dramatic. It's week 2 of OTAs. But when will we see these guys get that? And boy, what if they? I'm not gonna throw that out there. Never mind. Not gonna throw it out there because I truly believe BB is gonna be can be an upgrade at center at some point. Maybe not early because he's learning. And I believe 100% Tyler Guyton could be an upgrade at left tackle over Chumi Doga. You cannot like Tyler. Look, I know Tyler Guyton pick early on was not received well. And I still believe it's more of a futures pick. But I put him out there over Chumi Doga. You put him out there over Chuba. No, man, I'm not doing this, man. We're not doing this again. But Sky Chuma was serviceable. All right, well, he can service his ass as a backup. Here we go. He's a serviceable backup. When is anything we do receive? Well, I mean, that's true too, G. That is very true, bro. Rockstar Shaq said, can't wait to see T. Smith and BB double team someone to the ground. No Diddy. I was going to hit you with the no Diddy. So yeah. Yeah, man, the duo blocks or the combo blocks getting to the second level. BB and Tyler Smith. It's going to be some dirt and people, man. Rolo, I'm not going to fight you on that. I wouldn't have brought him back. But he had serviceable moments. I'm not going to lie. Not enough for me to bring him back, though. No, sir. Dwayne said, "Gotta let it play out." I know, Dwayne. I'm selfish though, Dwayne. I'm being straightforward and real with you. I'm being selfish here. I don't want to see this. I'm done. We saw it last week. One time was enough. Let these young bucks get their footing. So by the time they get to camp, they're not trying to play catch up. Because here's the thing about camp, with some of these rookies. And I noticed it with Tolbert. And this could be a cow. I know other teams do this too. Man, when you get out to Oxnard and you got thousands of people and all those eyeballs on you, boy. I know that's almost Scott. They play in Big 12. They play in SEC. A little different in the league, man. That pressure at practice, man. It's practice. And you see some of these guys, take a little bit of time. It's facts, Wayne. Chuma's the new Let's wrap the toxic for a little bit, man. What's good with you, toxic?
Hey, good morning, Sky. First off, I'm glad that you're back. Everything's safe with the weather down in Texas.
It is.
I'll
and
be
also,
really
let me say thank you personally. I said it to you via on in the chat, but thank you for the gift that you gave us last week, man. It was pretty awesome.
Hey, it's home, and I like to pay it forward. I won it at a silent charity auction at a local church. My first Cowboys jersey was from a Goodwill.
Wait.
I never forget where I came from.
You silent?
Yeah. See, I can't let people know that I do nice things because then it's expected of you. And then that's where it's like the expectation. It's kind of like people know that you're nice about some things. But like I said, I got my first Cowboys jersey at a Goodwill. Always paying it forward, never forgetting where I came from. So I'm glad it's home and it's going to be used by someone, especially from the 717. So very much appreciative that it's going to someone that I highly respect.
Thank you, man.
And the one thing I'll touch on that you hit home was about Micah Parsons and the crucial element of the intangibles and things you can't see in the game, or the silent or the invisible traits. And I think that you are hitting the nail on the head, and bringing in Zim is going to be such a breath of fresh air in teaching Micah a really important lesson about leadership. And I think I said it earlier, it's thing I learned when I was a young NCO in the Army is it's not what you preach, it's what you tolerate. And when you have Micah that is able to be empowered to be that dog on the field and not like part of some gimmicky defense like Dan Quinn, he's going to be under a guy that is fundamentally sound, and he's going to be put in positions that he can be that dude. And playing good isn't enough. Sometimes when shit goes wrong, and it will go wrong, are you the guy that knows what needs to be done, that you have the contingencies in your head, or are you the guy that's going to be out there with the head deer in the headlights look? And I think this is something that has been lacking from this team for decades. And the one thing I will say constantly is when the Cowboys get punched in the mouth, what do? And it seems like for decades, they don't know what to do. If what they are good at doesn't work, they fold. And that's why I really hope that they can use these weapons on this entire team. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying facts. That's just facts, bro.
And like using like Jake Ferguson, for instance, if you can use a guy like Jake Ferguson, and if CeeDee Lamb is up against a number one corner, how do you shift your game plan instantly to go, okay, we got a mismatch with Jason Ferguson because their safety play is awful. How do we get Ferg the ball without having to do it game for game? How do we do it from series to series? How do we tighten up and get that leadership and get that ability to realize it's not going our way on route A? How do we quickly pivot to route B, C, D, F, and then proceed to just destroy the enemy? That is like the next step. What I've seen from
being a bit more
great
tactical
teams, absolutely, and just not being like, you play poker, you can tell when someone has a good hand sometimes.
Yes.
Just by the way they react. And you know when they don't have a good hand, they fold. And I feel like that's the Cowboys. If they have their hand is loaded, they're going to go all in. Well, no, never mind. They're not going to go all in. They will raise the ante. They'll raise the ante. But if they're like,
no, but I know what you're saying. But it's also the inverse too, right? Like teams know when the Cowboys have a good hand, right? And teams know if here's a problem. Teams know when they don't play it right, or they have a shit hand. They're sitting there with 7 deuce. They're going to fold when you put pressure on them. So, for instance, let's use the Packers game. The Packers knew y'all out there with 7 deuce at linebacker, portraying aces. Because you heard what the running back said, right? The front runners. These dudes is front runners, man. We know they over there with 7 deuce. Yeah, we only got queen jack off suit, but that's enough.
And I just And then I would love to play cards with the Joneses because I think I would be a millionaire by the time I'm done. I think I would clean those inbred fools out because I know when they're doing, when they have a good hand and when they don't. Yeah. And you can see that it's reverberating their mentality of excuses, lack of accountability. You see it on the players. Again, it's not what you preach, it's what you tolerate. And I'm really hopeful that a guy like Mike Zim can be the shit funnel, not the shit filter, not the shit funnel.
Toxic, somebody in the chat said they can see like D-Law and Mike getting into it with Zim, and I say good. Yeah. How often do I talk about, confrontation potentially being good? And how many times, do we have to see Mike out there pissed because he's being held? Now he has to be the one talking to the refs, not the coaches yelling at the refs. Or he has to go to the sideline and there's nobody really there to say, hey, come here, man. Look, let me do this. No, you know where that guy's at? In the booth, hiding with his hat on backwards and his hand up like G. Willikers. But that's not going to be the case with Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer, I feel like you won't see a whole bunch of individuality play, every play. I feel like that's how it was most of the time, right? And then guys not being held accountable for it. Whether that be Micah, whether that be D-Law, whether that be Sam, whomever. And they talked about that. Like, man, we let too many things slide. And I brought up yesterday, all of that accumulated, and you saw what you saw in the playoffs. Zim ain't going to let none of that shit slide. And good.
Nope. Not all confrontation is bad. Sometimes in order for a new forest to grow, you got to burn the old one to the ground. It's not bad. And sometimes you need great leaders know how to initiate and get in people's heads without being a complete destructive jerk.
Yeah.
Zim is not the type of guy who's going to get into Micah's face just to be like, get off my lawn and I'm just having a bad day. And he's not that type of guy. And that's what you need.
Excellent point.
I think that is a breath of fresh air because accountability, growth is painful. Like, that's how it works. And if you really want to be great, and if you listen to the guys, even like I bring up Michael Jordan a lot, listen to Michael Jordan his first 6 years and listen to the pain and agony and the ass kicking he got from multiple teams and what he had to do to be great. Kobe Bryant's another one. And then you hear the Cowboys talk and just doesn't sound like that. And that's what it takes for you to be just a 12-win team to a Super Bowl winning 12-win team. So I think you brought up an excellent point. And the last thing I'll say is to people who want to rebuild, go watch the old original Hard Knocks in 2002 where Jerry Jones says he drafted Quincy Carter because he's a Libra and they have the same birthday. I don't want that guy ever again leading a rebuild. The dude's a joke. Other than that, have a good day.
Appreciate you, Toxic. Yeah, we had that discussion many a times for those who want to tear this thing down and rely on them. But I know McClay is more involved from the draft standpoint. But unfortunately, that gets washed out because Steven is involved from the player personnel department, and that washes everything. Got two more here. Let me lock that up. Let's get Bishop Kane in the building. What's good, Bishop Kane? Bishop, you live, man? All right, Bishop just listening to us this morning, probably. So let's get Magic City Marv in the building. Good morning, Magic City Marv.
What up, or how you doing?
Maserati Marv.
How you been doing, man?
I've been good. Survived the storm, and we're in this little bit dead period or slow period, but we pushing through it. How are you?
I've been doing good.
That's good.
Been watching your shows. Still been killing it.
Hey, man.
Put it on point by point. Yeah. Nah, ain't no try, bro. Once you got it going, it starts really going. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. What's on your mind today?
Oh, man, I just like you say, Zimmer, he ready, man. Zimmer's, hey, man, if y'all want to win, listen. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to play around. You either want to do it or you don't. I'm going to get your ass out the game. I'm going to get your ass out the game and put somebody else in there.
And he
And
said,
the cap,
"Hey Marv," he said, "You're gonna do it my way.
thank you. He gonna do it my way.
You're gonna do it my way."
Hey, you know what? He told Catboy, you know I'm Catboy too. He told Catboy, hey, I know you now. I know you. Hey, if you want to lose, do it your way. If you want to win, you're gonna do it my way. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to lose. Enough is enough. They've been running over y'all asses the last 6 years. Enough is enough. And all these players is on. The ones that don't want to listen, they're going to sit their butt on the bench. The ones that want to play and win, they're going to be out there with me. I'm sorry.
I think that's how it's gonna go, brother. I truly do. I just wish they gave him a little bit more of a leash on player personnel, because I feel like if they did, they would have 100% signed some defensive tackles. But they did.
About to get some more. They about to get some more.
I hope so. They did give him a long leash on who to bring in from a coaching staff, as they should. Because I think for the first time, I don't recall, you guys can maybe let me know, I don't remember the last time the Cowboys had a run game coordinator on defense. I don't remember that.
They never. This is first. Even with the offense. You remember, man, you was talking about the guy that came from Boston? McCarthy, no, he didn't run them ball right.
Well, they had one back in the day, or I say back in the day. They had run game coordinator in the Tony era. Bill Callahan was the run game coordinator, and for a brief period of time, Linehan actually was the pass game coordinator. But they've done that before offensively. I don't remember it defensively though.
Me either. And and another guy. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Cowboy can try to get away. But another guy that don't give a shit is the D-line coach.
Oh.
They're like, man, I don't care what you say, Cowboy. These guys got to play my way or their ass ain't playing.
Yeah, Scanina is not for the games. You know, he asked him.
Not for the games.
He said, "Have you had any blow-ups yet?" He said, "Man, every 5 minutes. What kind of question is that?" I bet you Nick Harris gonna come totally different when he asking those questions to Jeff Scanina moving forward.
Man.
Asking those silly ass questions to that man.
I know. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? You like, look, what the hell you talking about, man? I ain't got time to play, man. We trying to win.
Right.
There's one thing on our mind, and I'm telling you something. Everybody, even the guys that used to play around, know, man, if I don't do my job, he ain't gonna play me. It's already in their mind. He ain't even have to cuss him out. I'm telling you, don't even have to cuss him out.
Hey, I just saw these two names brought together. I think this is great name drop here. Talking Blindly brought up Marinelli and Richard. Remember when they brought in Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go back to that, it's kind of similar in the sense of these are no nonsense guys. I think the difference is Marinelli and Richard butted heads, where there was too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they came from two different schemes. Now, it worked early. It worked early, but it's way too many cooks in the kitchen. You had Richard was a pass game coordinator, and then you had Marinelli was the run game guy, and then they were trying to mix his cover 3 in Seattle to Tampa 2, and that was just too many cooks. From an attitude standpoint, I think it mirrors a little bit what Zim and the Scaninas of the world. But the difference is this is Mike Zimmer's defense. There is no Richard below him that is going to be battling him. You're running Mike's defense, and that's that. And, not Richard. Oh, Richard's time wasn't terrible either. But Marinelli's time wasn't bad here. Like, Marinelli was respected. Marinelli was a good, solid coordinator. The problem is he felt that, oh, you know what? I don't need XYZ. We can do it with the orphans. Or they said you don't need XYZ. You do it with the orphans. To me, it never really was about Marinelli, the teacher and the coach. It was about, hey, you got a guy here. Are you going to give him guys? And they're kind of doing what they did with Marinelli, where we're going to roll out Nick Hayden. We're going to roll out Selvey and all these other guys on the interior. Fortunately for Zim, this is a much better defense than those defenses that Marinelli had to take over, in my opinion.
Way better. And I was thinking, I'm telling you something. This guy ain't playing, y'all. I'm telling y'all right now.
Who's
Hey,
that?
Zimmer not playing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you something. This defense, this is like an Alabama defense in college. Number 7 already know how to play this defense. He played it in Alabama. This defense here is going to help number 26, y'all. Remember, he got torched against Seattle. Now, he'll have a safety.
It's one game.
Yeah.
It's one game. I ain't going to kill him for one game. It's second year
but
player.
It's going to make him better because the safety behind him. He'll probably get more interceptions.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it sounds like what Zim is preaching is, hey, man, we may take a step back in the turnover department so that we can be more disciplined and just being able to rely on stopping guys with our just sheer ability instead of being so aggressive that, we may get the turnover, but what if we don't? Now they're scoring, or now, we're not making stops. Right. Now we're getting into a Seattle shootout because we're not getting these turnovers. So I do think you'll see them take a little bit of a step back from a turnover standpoint, especially the corners. And you may see the safeties get more interceptions and the corners get less because
that's what I'm talking about.
The safeties might get some more picks because they'll be back there and you'll see these. Excuse me, you'll see these corners playing some press man, some zone man, some combo coverages. They'll mix it up back there where the safeties I think will have opportunities to get interceptions.
And number 9, you'll see more number 9 now, y'all.
Oh, so we're going to offense. Turpin. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Turpin. This is Turpin time because now number 9 will get a lot of change. Because I got tired of us. These teams just keep scoring. You know what I'm saying? 3rd and 7, and they get a 20-yard pass on them. Like, what the hell is this? Come on, man. We playing too far off.
Well, I tell you what,
man, that just pissed me
Mike
off.
Zimmer has been one of the best third down defensive coaches in the world, Craig. So I look forward to Cowboys' third down defense for sure, man. He's a mad scientist. Between him and Paul Gunther, man, you getting those third and mediums, third and longs, you don't know what's coming here. You don't. You know Micah Parsons is firing off the edge somewhere or blitzing somewhere, but the back end, you don't know what's coming in the back end.
And to all the Cowboy fans, and y'all was crying, everybody, what offense always killing us? The West Coast offense. The West Coast offense have a hard problem. Yeah. Thank you. They have a problem with Zimmer. That Zimmer be killing them because it confused the quarterback, and he playing tricks with them. And I'm going to tell you, that number 10, like for Green Bay, he was back there smoking a cigar, doing everything. He won't be able to do that if we ever play them again. Trust me on this. Trust me on this.
Yeah, that. Let me go look at the schedule real quick. 1 second, yo. Schedule.
You got San Francisco.
I am interested to see the first. Cleveland's offensive coordinator. He gets a bit creative, but the first time we'll run up against that, San Fran. But Detroit's going to Detroit doesn't run they don't run the Shanahan scheme, but Detroit's scheme is really good. So their scheme is very sound. But we played well against them last year. San Fran, wow, interesting. So we get San Fran, Houston. We do not get a lot of these teams this year. Last year, I felt like we played that offense. I mean, Packers, San Fran, Cardinals, Seattle. Yeah, Seattle. Matter of fact, here I can go back here. Boom. Let's see.
Did we play Seattle again?
No, we played them once. Miami.
Okay.
Miami. So we played 5. Oh, and the Rams. Bro, we played 6 teams. Arizona, San Fran, Rams, Seattle, Miami. That ran that Shanahan style of offense in one way, shape, or form. And we struggled with I mean, shit. Detroit's probably the only team we did. Now, Miami, we played them pretty decent. We played them pretty decent. But Seattle put up 35 on us. We know what Arizona did. We know what San Fran did. The Rams, we played good against the Rams. I think we always go at oh boy, what's his name? Matt Stafford. I always feel good about Matt Stafford. That's why. That's why when we're talking about playing. I was like, look, if we get the Rams, I'm not scared of them on those 6-game win streak because we always destroy Matt Stafford.
We always destroy Matt.
But this year, bro, we only get 2 teams: San Fran and Houston. That's it.
Yeah, oh my God. I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. I'm just so excited because, like I said, I'm gonna be at that camp, and I want to see that running game, running in the middle. It's going to help them deep tackles to see what they do going against Big 73, and sometimes 70 in there when they practice it.
We might get Atlanta's. Zach,
in Atlanta.
Zach Robinson is the offensive coordinator in Atlanta. He comes straight from LA. So yeah.
So it's gonna be good, And then another thing is gonna help Parsons. He won't be too tired when you let the other guys beat on them D tackles. Them offensive tackles, and then he could come in and be fresh. That was killing him in the last part of the year.
I still think that's not true. In last year, I brought up the numbers. I brought up the play between him and the other guys. If he was quote unquote worn down, and what the hell was Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, T.J. Watt, and Nick Bosa? If that was the case. Now you want to talk about being worn down in a specific game like Green Bay, yeah. When you're keeping him on one side and you're throwing a bunch of tight ends, tackles, and running backs out his legs all game, and you're not getting creative with him, yeah, you can get worn down in a specific game. But I thought he, with his preparation last year, it helped. It helped him kind of maintain that in the second half of the season because that really was a concern, the previous year, obviously being full-time edge rusher and not really being built to do that. But now I agree with you. I do think they'll move him around more. I do think he'll get more opportunity to where he's not having to deal with 2 or 3 guys every play, every other play, and he'll get some one-on-ones. Yep. And if you want to dedicate two guys to him, cool. And guess what? We got Eric Kendrick Blisson or DeMarvion Overshawn, Leah Fowl, a safety, a corner, D-Law. They're going to take advantage of that.
They're going to take advantage. Them things come from them. They're going to be coming from everywhere. The quarterback don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah,
y'all gonna get. We're gonna get a lot of sacks, y'all. Trust me what I say, because they're gonna be looking for number 11. Oh, he's over here. He's over here. And you know what? He might finally get an interception return for a touchdown.
I agree. I think this might be the year because he will drop back occasionally. That's what Zim will occasionally. I ain't gonna drop him back too much. Now you don't want to get too cute with him because you still don't have a pass rusher nearly as good as him, not even close. So if he's not rushing, that can get a little dicey. But there's going to be a time where Zim is going to play the field of the game. He's going to be like, okay, or Micah goes to the sideline. Hey, coach, when I do this, boom, 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 boom. But if I do this, I bet you're going to drop you back. You're going to fake the rush, drop you back. They're going to try to throw a quick hit or bow pick. Yeah.
Yes. You just said it. That's the one. Because they're going to say, okay, we're going to get his ass. The quarterback, okay, yeah, he's coming. He's coming, y'all. Be ready. And tight end, I'm going to throw it right there. 6. Yeah. And that's why that's when you get a chance to be, what you call that? You've been trying to win.
Oh, the defensive player of the year?
Yep. That's when you get.
Yeah.
2 interceptions, 2 run back, some fumble recovery. Woo. What's that?
Marv, I'm bringing up something. The way you just said that, this is what it reminded me of. Hold on. You can go ahead. Keep talking, Marv.
Yeah. I'm like, because man, you play a tricky game with the quarterbacks. Because I was watching a film section, and it was Green Bay against Minnesota against Rodgers, and Rodgers was trying to outthink him, and he was going at it. Rodgers, damn, this fool is tricking me. Had them blitzes up the middle, and Rodgers like, where he coming from?
But Marv said, yeah, man, that's what I'm going to. This is what he look like.
I'm just excited to do something different. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, Marv. Hey, man, I'm excited too. Marv.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, big dog.
I appreciate it, man. And all the Cowboy Nation, I'm going to say it again.
Drake Marv Green.
We're going to get over 2,000 yards rushing. We have a 2,000-yard rushing season by our halfbacks.
Oh,
Trust
shit.
me.
Here we go, Marv. Oh, all right, man. Let me get you off before you say something crazy, dog. All right, brother.
All right, fam. Salute.
Salute, bro. Y'all remember when Marv, who was here? This is really going to test the original OGs. Who was here when Marv said, all of them gonna get 1,000 yards receiving. I said, Marv, who the hell you talking about? Simi Fehoko, Jalen Tolbert. Marv. Yeah, you. That's what I knew. Oh, okay. Marv, we got to weigh in, bro. Marv now, 1,000. Marv. You was doing good. You had me in the first half. Y'all can't tell me he didn't look like this when he said, well, let me tell you, man, when they go get I'll tell you about Micah Parsons, man, he gonna fake the man. They go, Marv said he don't drink, but man, I'd love to have a couple drinks with Marv. Come on, man. Come on. What's up with your cowboy fanatic? Marv sound like a freaky. Let me get up out of here, man. Oh, shit. Mr. Dick in my line. Y'all, let me look at these super chats. Let me got any. I missed one yesterday, though. Flavor Flav. TC on the drums dropped 2 on the way out yesterday. Appreciate you, TC on the drums. He said, appreciate the show, Sky. No, I appreciate you showing up. I'm going to be here. Rockstar said, love this community. Hey, man, that reminds me of a comment I saw the other day. I don't normally try to address this too much, but whatever. Somebody was like, I think somebody in the chat said this a while ago, too. There's like, man, I come here just for the news, and so stop doing this and stop doing that. I'm like, bro, look, I appreciate you coming here, but I've developed a show that the community loves the way I do it. And it's not just a show about me just giving you news. All right, here we go. The Cowboys have OTAs and da-da-da. That's not what this is. You know, I tell you all the time, I wear many hats. I do the news. I got to report. I analyze. I have to host, right? But most importantly, I feel like I have to do all that and entertain the people that show up. If you want news, CNN. There's other people in the community that give you just news. That's cool. But when I say we, because y'all helped us too, we've developed a closeness, a bond within this community to be able to talk about Magic City Marv out there. Like, you know what I mean? To be able to do that, to be able to disagree, and y'all know how when you disagree, we go and come right back on here tomorrow, and we chatting it up. So I told that person, look, man, I'm not going to change what I do. I'm open to constructive criticism, but you're asking me to change completely how I do my show. Not going to happen. I'm open to doing things that is going to increase the product, increase the viewers' ability to walk away from this show and say, man, that was a damn good show. Or even if it's just me talking about week 2 OTAs, I had fun. So to that commenter, I say to you, appreciate you coming here. But if this isn't for you, that's fine. I understand I'm not going to be for everybody. Nobody is. Thank you, Dwayne. I try to be as versatile as possible, but also know you're not going to please everybody. So just stay true to yourself in this. If somebody asks me advice, honestly, be you. Obviously, learn from people you quote unquote look up to, or you want to. I don't want to use the word emulate, but say, hey man, I like how he does that. Let me take something from that and make it my way. But be you. You will attract those people. You try to be somebody else, then that's where it gets a little dicey because then they expect you to be that person. Yeah, G. The boy said I talked too much last week. There's me going on a rant. I'm rambling. My bad. Appreciate y'all, Bomb Squad. Look, Swain, I met my max words. Yo, hey, dog, don't be hitting me with land the damn plane. Don't be hitting me with land the damn plane. Shouts out to Beckley Wrestling in the building. He said, Pittsburgh. He said, we out here in Pittsburgh loving what you do. That's, man, look, shouts out. If you in like Pittsburgh, New York, Philly, you're a Cowboy fan, you are in the teeth of some crazy rival fans, man. I lived up in that area for quite some time, a little bit, college. And I know how the Yinzers can get, especially when they're winning. But they're not winning right now, so how are they? I'm curious. I happened to be up there when they won 2 Super Bowls in like 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it was. I think it was like 5 years. It was the worst. My entire thought process and opinion of Pittsburgh Steelers fans changed. Yep. I knew a lot of cool ass Pittsburgh fans in Harrisburg. A lot of them. One of my best friends was a Steelers fan. Cool as hell. Man, I went up to Edinburgh. Shouts out to Toxic. I think you, not Toxic. It was Toxic. Marcus Mosier, who was in Erie. Went up to Edinburgh. Oh, y'all different. Y'all terrible. Y'all good and terrible. Changed my whole opinion. Matt said he from Pittsburgh. Shouts out to you, man. Oscar, Texan fan? Hey, dog, tell Texans fans? They getting like that? This is what you tell Texas fans.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Get your ass on, boy. Get your ass on. They can't say nothing to you, bro. They can't say nothing to you, man. With that said, let's get up out of here. Good stuff today. Tomorrow we got Patrick No C Walker joining us to give us his take on what he saw today down there at OTA. Should be a good one. Make sure y'all join us.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Yeah. Oh, so Toxic, you from Lebanon. No, a couple folk down there. Not anymore. I used to. Appreciate you, James. Definitely a fun segment. We out of here. Wait, you went to Edinburgh? Shouts out to the Bro Squad. Peace. Well, that was my first time. I experienced lake effect snow. I said, I am never, ever moving up in this area. Edinburgh tricked the shit out of me. I went up there in April. It was beautiful. Oh yeah, I'll go to this school. Man, October came around. They talking about 3 feet of snow. Edinburgh, you go to hell. The great Cornholio.
Bomb Squad!